My name's Sara Hannam and I'm the Head of International Partnership in the Oxford Brookes Business School. I would say not a model student in the early stages of my educational development, but I always really enjoyed school. But actually what I did as soon as I finished my O-levels was went out to work for a while, and then I went back and did A-levels at evening class and went to university slightly later. So it was something that came, the passion side of education and particularly teaching was something that came to me a little bit later in life. What I like about universities is just the knowledge is at a slightly higher level. You're seeing people moving into their careers, so the age of the students means that you get more of an immediate sense of their development onwards. And obviously the academic community around me in the university, colleagues and so on, is absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's a real privilege to work there. My university, Oxford Brookes, delivers some of our programmes abroad with partner institutions, the same programmes but in another country. And my job is to find those partners, to find whether they're suitable for working with us, and then to help set up those programmes with those partners. On average, I would say I probably travel every couple of months for about a week, and sometimes it can be more than that. I enjoy the sense of freedom of travelling. I've always loved seeing new places and just seeing how other people live, and getting to work with colleagues from other places is, you know, second to none really in terms of opening your mind, trying out different working styles. I have got two children, aged 6 and 10. That does present a few challenges because obviously their lives continue, school and all their activities. I think the key to doing it successfully is organisation. So I know fairly far in advance where I'm going and when. So it's just sitting down and making a plan, making sure things are covered, making sure everyone knows where they need to be. I've got a very supportive husband who appreciates my need for travel in my job and so on, and really we just organise it between us. In terms of crises that have happened while I've been away, there was one time where my husband got ill unexpectedly and so was unable to look after the children. And I was in Singapore at the time, so different time zone and quite a long way away. So what I did was I contacted a couple of really trusted friends and said, could you step in and help? So it's really just pooling the resources and sharing where you can. I had my children slightly later in life because I was busy building my career, doing my PhD. So at the point that my children were really young, my mum got quite seriously ill with Alzheimer's. So there was a period when my son was sort of 1 up until about 3 where I was looking after my children, working full time, and also having to drive a couple of times a week to see my mum and look after her finances, manage her medical issues. Obviously you go on a kind of autopilot to get through it, but I think, yeah, for anyone who's lived through that, and many people have, it's difficult because you just have so little time to give to any of those people and to yourself. So you can end up feeling that you're not doing any of them particularly well, although I know actually that I've done fine. It's just, you know, being able to understand that that's the way things are. Universities in general are places where your full profile is appreciated both at work and at home. There's obviously a kind of stated work-life balance policy, and I think it's assumed, you know, in my job, my time is self-managed, and therefore, you know, if I am having to push myself harder on an international trip, it's assumed that I will understand I need to take a bit of slack when I get back to recover. And, you know, I think as long as the work is done and the productivity is there, I think that basically there's a very open attitude to people being able to self-manage their time. The universities are probably one of the best places for women to work. We're definitely well represented, as in all industries, possibly represented in some areas more than others. There's more work to be done in relation to women in senior leadership positions and generally being able to progress at the same rate as men. But I believe that our environment is one where we can perhaps instigate change at a faster rate, because generally there's more openness to the idea of equality. So I feel positive that we'll continue to shift ground there.